the growing band of Sicilian shopkeepers who refuse to shell out protection money to the mafia. In the Italian city of Palermo in Sicily, 80% of local businesses have to budget for the pizzo, the protection cash paid to the local mafia. But Domenico is the newest member of the city's first anti-racket association, called Addiopizzo, or Goodbye Protection Money. Domenico has been telling our reporter Danny Mitzman why he refuses to bow down to the local mob.
Non ho mai pagato il pizzo. Poi si è presentata una persona.
I'd never paid the pizzo. Then a person showed up telling me to sort myself out with the mafia. He didn't even tell me how much I owed, but said I had to pay at Easter and Christmas.
Sia a Pasqua che a Natale.
Domenico's been running his supermarket for the past 25 years, but it wasn't until last year that he was approached by a local mafioso and asked to pay the pizzo. He refused and reported the incident to the police. A few weeks later, the first threat came in the form of a typical mafia warning, glue in all his locks. Once again, he reported the incident.
Ho deciso perché voglio difendere la
I decided to stand up to them because I wanted to defend my dignity and my business. All this has to come to an end. It has to. We can't go on this way, especially if we want to give our children a decent future. If we don't take action now, things will just get worse.
For Domenico, things did get worse. A Molotov cocktail thrown through his shop window late one night started a fire and caused extensive damage. Then 3 weeks ago came another Molotov, this time during opening hours while there were customers and staff in his shop.
È stato fatto questo atto per spaventare la gente e non fare.
They did this to scare people away so they wouldn't use my shop and I'd go out of business. They saw I didn't want to pay this, so they said, if you don't pay, you'll have to close down and leave the area. It was also to send a message to other shopkeepers to say, see what happens if you don't pay? To frighten them into complying.
Thanks to Domenico's identification, the alleged extortionist has been arrested and charged, but the damage has already been done.
l'ultima vicenda che abbiamo.
After the latest episode, people are scared of coming shopping, and I've suffered a devastating drop in income. My regular, long-standing customers are still coming, but most people are afraid and won't enter the shop anymore.
Domenico's story swiftly reached the ears of Addiopizzo. Having seen them on the television and heard them on the radio, he immediately accepted their offer of help.
Domenico is basically one of the last people who decided to join Addiopizzo to face the mafiosi and fight them. So he said, I work every day, I sweat for me and for my family. I am proud of it, and I don't want to share my money with parasites, basically, because he said, I don't know why people are inclined to pay these parasites that, then they go around town with, a very expensive car with my money. They buy it with my money while I have to work hard to arrive at the end of the month.
Edoardo Zaffuto is one of the founding members of the voluntary group. Their headquarters are in a spacious apartment in downtown Palermo, which used to belong to the neighbourhood boss. Now in prison, his assets were confiscated and the premises offered to Addiopizzo, thanks to a state law allowing anti-mafia associations the use of confiscated mafia property. Set up by a group of young people from Palermo just 7 years ago, the organisation now has 500 businesses among its members and over 10,000 consumers actively supporting their campaign.
Unfortunately, the previous generation often considered the mafia and the pizzo as something that cannot be changed. I think there is a cultural shift in this generation in the way of considering pizzo not as a normal thing anymore, but as an unacceptable imposition.
In spite of their campaign, 80% of businesses in Palermo still pay the pizzo. Edoardo says the majority of shopkeepers are afraid not to pay, scared of the kind of retaliation Domenico's experienced. It's a feeling Edoardo and his friends know well from the first months of their anti-mafia activities. As website manager, Edoardo initially worked out of internet cafes, terrified the mafia might track them down if they used their own computers.
Yeah, we were very prudent. Every time we had to paste stickers or put the slogan or run town, we were doing it by night. Then we realized that if we want to ask the shopkeepers and the businessmen to put their name and their faces, we had to do the same. We had to do the same even before them. So this is how Addiopizzo started to become an official organization. We started to go in TV, for interviews without any problem. Our names started to be published in the newspaper or on the website.
With their sister organisation, Libero Futuro, which helps victims deal with the legal procedures they have to go through, they offer tangible help to people like Domenico to make sure they stay in pizzo-free business.
When a few days ago the mafia attacked him, launching a Molotov bomb against his shop, we decided we have to move quickly in order to show that this man is not alone, that if mafia is thinking to make him fail, we will not leave him alone, and we will do anything as possible to protect him. So we started to go to the supermarket just for our shopping. This is basically the sense of the campaign. Sometimes for the mafia it's not necessary to kill anyone or to damage anyone. They want your business fail if you don't bow your head.
While Domenico admits his initial reaction was to take his wife and young children and leave Sicily, he now feels very differently. Addiopizzo have installed CCTV cameras in his shop, and their constant support has given him the courage to go on. Although Domenico's ordeal is far from over, and he now has to live with police bodyguards, he says he doesn't regret fighting.
Regarding how I feel in terms of my morale, I feel I've won. Yes, unfortunately the mafia is really hard, really strong, and it's difficult to defeat it. It could take years. I don't know how long. Let's say I feel satisfied personally because I've defended my dignity, and I've defended my rights, and I've defended my business.
Danny Mitzman speaking to mafia target Domenico in Palermo.